time of filming this video, I currently own around 2,700 shares of the monthly paying dividend stock Realty Income. Now, just because this is the internet and a lot of people do like to lie, here's a few screenshots from a few of my portfolios, tallying up to over 2,000 shares as of right here. And keep in mind, I do hold more shares than other brokerages as well. Now, in this video, we are going to go through a few reasons on why I personally, as a 31-year-old dividend growth investor, bought around 2,700 shares of Realty Income. And also stick around until the end of the video because I'm going to explain to you how much I earn in dividends on a monthly basis. Now, make sure to stick around, drop a like down below, and let's get right into it. Now, the first reason on why I've been buying so many shares of Realty Income over the last several years is because as a relatively younger dividend growth investor with a long time frame ahead of me, and with me honestly having a little bit of a lower risk tolerance than others, I find that Realty Income, as far as a single stock, allows me to sleep pretty good at night. Now, of course, across the stock market, if someone like myself wants to sort of sleep well at night and to have more of a safe investing option, ETFs or exchange traded funds are definitely going to be a good option because, of course, with ETFs, you're not just investing into one single name, but instead you're investing into a diversified portfolio of different stocks. And that's exactly what a large majority of my personal long-term portfolio is actually made up of, but I also do want to own some single names within it. Now, Realty Income does exactly that for me. It allows me to have faith in the investment, whether the market is, of course, up or down. And although this is not going to be a complete Realty Income analysis video, this is just more some of the reasons on why I own so many shares of Realty Income, relatively speaking. I will say that Realty Income, as far as REITs go, is one of the highest quality across the entire market, in my opinion. And this is due to things like the massive client diversification, the fact that Realty Income has 13,100 commercial properties and are leased to over 1,300 different clients. So even though Realty Income, of course, is a single stock, it's not an ETF, it still is rather diversified, and diversification is definitely key. Because, for example, here, let's say a few of these top 20 clients, let's say Dollar General or FedEx, might have some issues in the short term, let's just say. The idea of diversification is that hopefully the rest of the other companies that Realty Income leases out to would hopefully be able to pick up the slack. Now, because of Realty Income's portfolio breakdown and the general direction that this REIT is going into, it helps me sleep well at night and is honestly probably the least single stock I worry about across my entire portfolio. Now, another reason, of course, why I bought into Realty Income stock a while back and why I keep buying more and more shares, totaling to around 2,700 shares as of right now, is of course because of the nice juicy dividend that Realty Income pays on a monthly basis. Now, if you guys have watched me in the past, it's no secret that you know that I do have an affinity to dividend paying stocks and ETFs, and this is generally because as of right now, where I'm at in my life, I'm using all my dividend income to reinvest and buy more shares of different stocks and ETFs. And what I'm trying to do here, or at least the goal is, I'm trying to build a portfolio that's big enough to sustain itself and allow me to have a lot of cash balance on a daily basis from the dividends paid to allow me to buy more shares of more ETFs and stocks and really get the snowball rolling. Now, as of right now, with over 7 figures invested in different stocks and ETFs and others, I will say that the snowball effect is definitely taking shape, and this is exactly because of stocks like Realty Income. With my around 2,700 shares of Realty Income as of right now that I hold, and with the 26 cents per share per month that Realty Income pays, I'm earning close to or around $700 on a monthly basis, which then I can reinvest into more shares of Realty Income or of course other stocks or ETFs across the market. Now, to give you an idea, Realty Income, as I film in this video, is trading at around $50 per share. So just with the dividends that I'm paid from Realty Income on a monthly basis, I could actually purchase 14 more shares of Realty Income on a monthly basis. And then with those 14 shares of Realty Income, I'm going to get paid around $3.65 extra every single month. And that right there is the power of compounding. The longer you can stay reinvesting all your dividends, the way that I like to think of it is the longer you can stay underwater without coming up for air and just keep reinvesting those dividends longer and longer and longer, the more of a cash flowing machine your portfolio is going to become. Now, the last reason on why I've been buying so many shares of Realty Income over the last several years is because of the overall growth potential that this single stock has in the future and has definitely had in the past. You see, what's kind of crazy is that if we compare Realty Income since 1995, compare it to the S&P 500 or the SPY, and say that we invested $10,000 into each of them. Now, the S&P 500 has obviously had a great performance pretty much over any time frame, more or less. But Realty Income in this time frame has done even better. So check it out. Realty Income's $10,000 investment since 1995 would now be worth $250,000, where the SPY would only be worth $121,000. Now, over this time frame, Realty Income has a 12.07% average annual return, where the SPY has around a 9.23%. Now, don't get me wrong, I do personally think that investing into the S&P 500 is one of the best investments any investor can make without a single doubt. but the growth in actual share price that Realty Income has had over multiple different time frames, like right here on the max chart, Realty Income is up over 500%, and that's even with the most recent massive drawdown. Now, the reason this is so favorable, especially for an investor like myself that is sort of going for more of a dividend income focused portfolio long term, don't get me wrong though, I still want to have growth along with it, but the thing is, in most cases you're sort of going to get one or the other when it comes to investing into stocks or ETFs. A lot of times you're going to either get massive growth, or a lot of times you're going to get more of a massive dividend being paid, but that's definitely not always the case. There are certain situations where you can get a bit of both, and Realty Income has definitely proved to be exactly that. Now, I wanted to end off this video going through some of the stats that Realty Income currently has on Simply Safe Dividends, just to once again showcase what this REIT has to offer and why it's my favorite REIT across the market, and definitely my favorite single stock. Now, Realty Income is relatively low beta, which once again for myself, as sort of a scaredy cat investor that's honestly sort of afraid of risk, that matches perfect with what I'm looking for. Realty Income's market cap is $34 billion, which is massive, and with the most recent acquisition that Realty Income has made, this REIT is becoming more and more unstoppable. Now, Realty Income's dividend growth is around 4%. Realty Income raises their dividend a tiny bit. I think it's like a half of a cent every 3 months or so. But even with the small, slow and steady dividend growth raises, they really are starting to add up, especially in my situation, because I am really starting to gather quite a few shares of Realty Income across my portfolios. Now, also, I think that Realty Income offering over a 6% starting dividend yield is going to be looked back upon as a massive opportunity to lock in a high starting dividend yield, but not be trapped the same way that a lot of other single stocks or ETFs sort of get you in. With Realty Income's 6.14% starting dividend yield as of right now, I think it's a great opportunity for investors that want to get paid and also want to buy into an asset that has the potential to grow long term. Now, last but not least, Realty Income's dividend safety score. Towards the beginning of the video, I talked about the fact that Realty Income, in my opinion, is definitely a sleep well at night stock, which is sort of hard to find, honestly, in the context of comparing single stocks compared to ETFs. The older I get and the busier I get, I'm becoming more and more of a fan of just buying into things like SCHD or DGRO or even S&P 500. And that's generally because the ETFs are more diverse and sort of just allow you to not think about it too much. But with Realty Income having an 80 on the dividend safety score, Realty Income's dividend is pretty much as safe as it gets, at least in my opinion, which means Realty Income is going to be paying that massive monthly dividend from now, hopefully forever. That being said, as far as any single stock goes, Realty Income, in my opinion, for my risk tolerance and for what I personally look for as a long-term dividend growth style, income-focused investor, is still a great option to keep adding here and there, and I most likely will do so long into the future. But when it comes to Realty Income, the monthly paying dividend stock, now I want to hear from you guys down below. Do you currently own any shares of Realty Income as of right now? And if so, comment how many shares you have down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to please drop a like and subscribe for more future content like this. Thanks as always for stopping by, and if you are interested in investing, make sure to check out these recent videos I posted right here.